Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Fry, and let's queer up trans rights. Federal court backs trans rights in Nude Spa case. A controversial case in Washington state has become a flashpoint in the national conversation on trans rights and religious freedom. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit has ruled that Olympus Spa, a women-only Korean spa in Lynnwood, must comply with state anti-discrimination laws after denying access to a transgender woman, Haven Wilvich, because she's not completed surgical transition yet. The spa has argued that the policy was based on their Christian beliefs and modesty customs and claimed the enforcement violated their rights to free speech, religious freedom, and freedom of association. But the court disagreed. Judge Margaret McKeown wrote, quote, "We are not unmindful of the concerns and beliefs raised by the spa. Indeed, the spa may have other avenues to challenge the enforcement action. But whatever recourse it may have, that relief cannot come from the First Amendment," end quote. The ruling clarified that businesses serve the public are not protected as intimate or expressive associations under the law and must follow anti-discrimination rules even in nude settings. A dissent from Judge Kenneth Lee called the state's response political and suggested the law unfairly targeted Asian Americans. Olympus Spa is represented by Pacific Justice Institute, a group labeled as anti-LGBTQ hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. They say they plan to appeal. There's just a lot here to unpack. And I haven't been able to do enough research to have a complete position on it yet because I know. I can understand the claim of discrimination, but I can also see the situation because she's pre-op. It's a confusing moment for everybody, not for the individual, the trans person, but I do think that this will probably be appealed because I do agree with the judge that this is not a First Amendment situation. So on that basis, the trans person has the right to be in that position. But I do think that it's confusing because of the preoperative situation.
Well, get bigger towels.
I understand.
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, to the Olympus Spa, I say you made a mistake. Okay, if you're open to the public, you don't get to close the door on civil rights, baby. So modesty isn't a license to discriminate against anyone. And trans women are women. Period.
I understand.
Get bigger towels and then we'll talk.
And
you know
it's
what I mean?
funny that they have modesty customs at a nude spa about your body being nude, about a body being nude, because this also crosses into the conversation now of those who have both parts as they were born, those who are. What do you say to that then? At a nude spa, well, every being and every individual who pays their money is accepted. And also I go further into your Christian beliefs and customs. Like, this really confuses me at a nude spa. Again, your Christian beliefs and customs at a nude spa, right?
Yeah.
Aren't we having a cognitive dissonance right now? Aren't we having an oxymoron right now?
Right.
At a nude spa? Like, there's so many questions that come in with why are you discriminating against this person? And it has, and also, let's talk about premarital sex. We just pick and choose what the hell that we want to discriminate against when we have Christian narratives. I used to be a Christian, baby. I know all of the things that we can go down the list on to talk about.
Sinning.
We can talk about the modesty of being nude. We can talk about the linens, and we can talk about so many damn things. And this is what you want to die your hill on. This is the hill you want to die on, Olympus Spa.
But let's not muddy the water. This is about specifically what they've claimed as First Amendment rights. And so based on just that fact, we have to.
But they went on their Christian narrative. Clearly, that's what they're basing it on. Their Christian
Well, and
principles.
they're also feeling targeted as Asian Americans, and I don't see the correlation between those two. And that makes me sad that you feel that you're being targeted because of who you are. We don't do that in our community because we're targeted for who we are.
But that's where the second judge, I think, made the mistake, because he's the one that made that point, not the Korean
not
spa.
Olympus. Yeah.
So I mean, this is muddy as all hell. It's like the Mississippi. You don't see the bottom on this yet, and no pun intended on that either. But I'm just saying this needs to be really looked into and watched before, we can really be fair about it.
I don't find this muddy at all. I honestly don't see the problem with with any human being going to a nude spa and actually just it's a place of relaxation for human beings to be nude. It's just like I go to the nude beach all the time. There are trans people out there. Nobody's bothered. People even bring their children because and most of them are European because they don't have the same lens as we do when it comes down to nudity. It's just a thing. It's just a body. We all have it. We all have body parts. And as consenting adults, if I work and I pay my money to go into a public space that is nude, then I should be accepted. Period. Point blank.
And it's a women's spa, and I'm a woman.
And maybe there we need to have the education about being a trans woman, because it sounds like it might be
some education is needed.
It sounds like it might be the first time.
That's what it all boils down to.
Right.
It's it's trans, and for people that don't experience that or don't have that in their life and their communities, they see it as something, that they don't want it to be a part of.
And I think that's
where the discrimination comes in. Because yes, you can walk into any establishment, and as any human being, if I want to be in a spa, if it's an all women's spa, yeah, that's fine. But you have to understand that there's a gray line when it comes now to be identifying as women.
Yeah. Right. And that's what I'm saying. I think that's where this needs to start, is we need to have an education process for the Korean staff, for the Korean owners, because we know they're not American born and American raised.
Yeah, and it could have not been on their radar, just like like I was said, and they just need some education. Jason, educate them.
Educate them.
100%. Right? Yeah. I mean, people make mistakes. You know what I mean? I'm like, apologize and keep it moving. Educate your staff and keep it moving. It doesn't have to be a big "you hate us." You don't. You just didn't know. And education is power sometimes. Yeah. And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.